Today, our group's topic is about the human capital investment programs in Singapore. This article discusses Singapore's investment in human capital development, including education and skills training to sustain economic growth, which is crucial for a small country lacking natural resources. The article highlights the importance of government intervention to provide subsidies to encourage individuals to acquire more education and training, as this increases the literacy and the productivity of the workforce, and which benefits the society as a whole. And we have divided into three parts. The first part is the necessity of investing in human capital development. And the second part is the education and workfare program. And finally, we discuss two questions. Now let's come to our first part. And Singapore is a small island city-state and located in Southeast Asia. And with a population of approximately 5.7 billion people, it is one of the most densely populated countries in the world. Due to its small land area, Singapore is very deficient in natural resources. For example, the coal. China has a large coal reserve and among top in the world, while Singapore has almost no coal resources. And the petroleum, China is one of the world's largest importers of petroleum. And although it has some petroleum reserves, its self-sufficiency rate is low in comparison. Singapore has no petroleum resources and must rely on its imports. And for the natural gas, and China has one of the world's largest reserve of natural gas, while Singapore only has some import natural gas reserves. And the iron ore, China has the world's largest reserve of iron ore, while Singapore has no this kind of resources. And for the rare earths, China has the world's richest rare earth resources, while Singapore has no rare earth resources. And overall, Singapore's natural resources are very scarce. And compared to China, its natural resources reserves are very limited. Therefore, Singapore must rely on its human capital and other factors to support its economic development. At the same time, due to its dense population, and the human capital has become one of the important reliance for Singapore development. While some nations may have a vast array of resources at their disposal for economic development, and human capital is just one of those resources. However, for a small country such as Singapore lacking in natural resources, the population's hard work and high productivity are essential for sustaining the economic growth. Therefore, Singapore's government recognizes that investing in human capital development through the educational skills, training, and upgrading is critical for its continued success. And one of the most important measures is education and the workfare program. And for the education, according to the economic theory, and a worker's wage is determined by their marginal product revenue, making high productivity crucial for sustainable wage growth. To achieve this goal, the Singapore invests heavily in education each year, primarily to provide education at different levels, include the primary, secondary, post-secondary, and tertiary education. However, with more people entering the tertiary education system, a significant portion of the budget is now allocated to this sector, and which will continue to grow as Singapore expands its number of tertiary education institutes. For the workfare, The welfare program has two aspects. First, the welfare training support scheme encourages employees to upgrading their skills through training so that they can improve their employment opportunities, allowing them to upgrade the better jobs and earn better incomes. Meanwhile, the framework provides incentives for employers to allow their workers to seek better skill sets and improve productivity as the government provides training funds for certain approved courses. Second, the workfare income supplement encourage the older low-wage workers to work by supplementing their income and the retirement savings. As long as they continued to work, they will be able to enjoy the WIS top-up on their monthly income and their retirement account. Such a scheme aims to create employment for the older and low-age workers and encourage them to continue to work and not to look for welfare income from the government. All in all, the welfare program is a key pillar in Singapore's social security lens to provide support for low-wage workers so that they have a best chance to progress and achieve high living standards. Now let's come to the questions. The question one is, human capital investment has a long-lasting impact on individuals and benefits the wider society. Distinguish the two types of benefits. And the provide benefits refers to benefits that accrued to an individual or a group of individuals from a particular economic activity or decision. These benefits are enjoyed exclusively by the individual or a group and are not shared by others. For example, when one investments in education to private benefits they may receive could include better job prospects, higher wages, and improved personal development, while the social benefits, on the other hand, refer to the benefits that are accrued to society as a whole from a particular economic activity or decision. Unlike the private benefits, these benefits are not exclusively to any individual or groups and are shared by all the number of the members of the society. For example, when one invests in education, the society benefits could include a more skills, the workforce, increase innovation and productivity, and an overall improvement in the standard of living for the entire society. It's more like an externality. And for individuals, decision-making and project evaluation in CBA often only consider the private benefits. However, the government human capital investment decisions, like the one in its example, the government should make decisions and they evaluate projects through CBA that take into account both private and social benefits. This is because an ideal government should be able to achieve the maximization of overall benefits. And the private benefits can create inequality and disparities, while the social benefits can promote fairness and equality. The private benefits are often measured in terms of monetary gain, while the social benefits are often measured in terms of social welfare or well-being. The private benefits and the social benefits are also different. The private benefits can increase in tax revenue for the government and improve the government reputation, reducing inequality and social dissatisfaction, and provides a strong support for the long-term development of the country, promoting economic development, enhance competitiveness, and the social benefits can boost annual productivity growth to 2 to 3% over the next decade from 2010. Also, the lifetime income of individuals increases for workers, leading to greater consumption, and the business can gain higher productivity and innovation capabilities. And the education and the training institutions can obtain more funds and resources. And for the question two, is there any differences between the government providing training programs and a private company provide such services? Both the government and private firms can provide high quality training programs, but there are maybe several differences. The first one is the funding. The main differences is that the funding source. The government funded programs are funded by taxes or government expenditures, while the private and company training programs are mostly from the company's operating profits. The second one is their purpose. The purpose of the government training program is usually to improve the skills and the knowledge of citizens to drive the economic growth, job creation, or social development, and finally increase the GDP. However, the training programs in private companies are designed to upskill employees, thereby increasing their job performance and productivity, which will in turn increases the company's bottom line. Therefore, the goals of the government and the private companies to provide training programs are different. The third one is target groups. The government-funded training programs are broader and are usually for residents for the entire country. This also includes those who cannot pay tuition fees, while private companies give priority to internal employees or their customers. The first one is the content. The content of training programs can vary widely. Government-funded programs are more scrutinized and are regulated to ensure they meet certain standards. And the government-supported programs are more generalizable because they address a wider client base, while the programs of private companies are more professional and more specific. Government-funded training programs tend to last longer than private training programs because they are designed to provide a well-rounded education and skills development. Personal training programs may be shorter and more focused on the specific skills and knowledge. The final one is the externality. As we have learned before, the training programs are a public good. Public goods refer to the goods or services that are non-excludable and non-rivalrous, meaning that they are available to all and their consumption by one individual does not reduce their availability to others. As far as the training programs are concerned, the skills acquired by students can be considered public goods because they benefit social society as a whole. Government may be better suited to provide such public goods since the private firm have little incentive to invest in them due to their non-excludability. And as far as training programs are concerned, the acquisition of new skills by individuals and creates positive externalities can benefit their employers and the wider economy. Therefore, the governments may have an incentive to provide training programs that generate positive externalities and spillover effects. And in the picture, the marginal social benefit curve will shift to the right, and the equivalent output will increase. But it also causes the deadweight loss, like the red area. There are also certain economic problems when the government and the private companies provide the training programs at the same time, such as the market failure. The market may fail to provide adequate training to individuals or firms due to information asymmetry or externalities. For example, the private firms may they may have the market power and change the higher prices or provide low quality training due to lack of competition. In other words, monopoly or oligopoly markets may form. Therefore, governments may intervene to regulate the market and ensure the fair competition. And that's all for the presentation. Thank you.